Hello everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. As I, Fonz the Falcon, I just want to say thank you so much for taking some time out of your precious day to watch another video here. And we got ourselves another Fonz's ranking episode, and this time talking about the world of professional wrestling. Yes, if you aren't aware, I am a huge wrestling fan. I want to incorporate some wrestling videos on this page too. It's another one of Fonz's rankings. It's a cool one. It's about none other than the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Now, say what you want about Roman Reigns during his time in WWE. I've always been a fan of his work too. From his days with the Shield to the Tribal Chief stuff, he's had an historic WWE career. And on top of holding the WWE Universal Championship for over 1,000 days, he also had a really good accomplishment recently, having 8 WrestleMania main events. Now, not a lot of superstars get to main event WrestleMania, let alone have it 8 different times. So we're going to do that rankings today of ranking every single Roman Reigns' WrestleMania main event from worst to first. And the criteria is very simple. I just rank all the matches, how they were from start to finish, the build up, the action itself. Whether Reigns loses or not is not really in the requirement, just overall how the match quality was, and if it still holds up today. It's very simple, 8 different matches, ranking them from worst to first. Follow along, let's get into it. But before we get into it, let's hear a word from our people here at Grateful Apparel.
I like to talk a lot. You guys can figure that out by now. I talk a lot of times with so many words, 1,000 words a day with content and whatnot. There's one word that always sticks to me, that is grateful. I'm always grateful to do stuff like this, to podcast, make some YouTube videos, some TikToks. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the life I have. I'm all about spreading positivity because, you know, the world can be a cruel place at times, but there's always some nice to have some positivity here and there. That's what the people at Grateful Apparel are all about. Grateful Apparel, it's always been about you, the change, the fighter, the one who refuses to settle with the cards you were dealt with, the uplifter, the passion chaser, the one who knows that hitting rock bottom just means you're about to shoot to the top. Their brand is focusing on positivity and changing moods around the world, and I cannot agree with them more. The message is great, and their clothes are also really great. Got a lot of different shirts, hats, and hoodies. I got a couple of shirts. I'm wearing one right now. I got the hat here. Really, really good stuff. I like the shirts. Has like a vintage look to it, and the graphics are really cool. They're always changing it, always having some new stuff drop. The merch is really, really good. I love their message, and I love their clothes, and you're going to love them too if you head over to gratefulapparel.com right now. Use code FONZ, F-O-N-Z, for 15% off your order. Get yourself a new shirt, a hat, whatever you want to do at Grateful Apparel. They got really good stuff over there and a really good message. You want to support their brand. Good pricing there, and you'll get even better price if you use my code, like I said, FONZ, FONZ, for 15% off your order. gratefulapparel.com. Head over there right now.
And now here are my rankings for every single Roman Reigns WrestleMania main event from worst to first. Honorable mention, WrestleMania 40 Night 1. Now, this isn't technically a main event because this is a WrestleMania 2 night event, so this is from night 1, but I am going to count it here on this list as an honorable mention. Or do you count officially on the rankings? That's up to you. Personally, I'm putting in the honorable mention because it didn't actually main event the entire show. And we will get to night 2's main event later on the list. But night's 1 match did determine the main event for night 2, and this one was the Bloodline, where he teamed up with The Rock to go up against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Now, this one was simple. This was a tag match where the winner of the match had the stipulation for night 2. If the team of Rhodes and Rollins won, there would have been a regular singles match between Reigns and Rhodes, but if the Bloodline won, it would have been under Bloodline rules. And Bloodline rules was basically a no disqualification Bloodline rules match. I still have no idea what it was considered. But regardless, this one was not that bad of a match. The only gripe I had on it was a 45-minute match. And a lot of it was just pretty much stare downs and standoffs between the wrestlers here. Not as much action as you would think in a 45-minute match. If they cut this down to, say, 35 minutes or even 30 minutes, I think it would have been a lot better, but it just was a lot of standstill, and it's kind of dragged out a little bit. But still wasn't bad, doesn't qualify as a main event down here, and this definitely set up for night 2's main event, which again, we will get to. Number 8, WrestleMania 32. This was the time where I kind of got back into wrestling. I took some years away from it. 2016 was the time where I kind of started watching wrestling again. And this was the time where Roman Reigns was considered the golden boy of WWE, whether fans liked it or not. He was constantly shoved down our throats here, and fans were really sick and tired of him. He was pushed so hard as a babyface, but honestly, we kind of just wanted him as a heel. And for this build to WrestleMania 32, Reigns had the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and lost at the Royal Rumble, lost it in the gauntlet match that we all know and love. Triple H ended up winning that match, becoming WWE World Heavyweight Champion. They had the build up where Reigns would go up against Triple H at the show of shows to regain the title. And honestly, with Reigns fighting against the McMahon family and that whole build up, fans just were not invested into it at all. And this was someone who was just getting back into wrestling and seeing this and being like, why is WWE keep pushing this guy? I don't understand it. And then we had the match too, with such a huge build up for it, or at least WWE was trying to build it up slowly, but the fans just were not into it at all. Even looking back on this match now, years later, I see Triple H doing his best to try to put Reigns over here and put him through all this stuff. It just did not connect with the fans. And even Stephanie McMahon making an appearance there where Reigns speared her during the match. Again, just fans just were not into it. While they tried to build it up as a lot of hard-hitting actions, it's considered one of the worst WrestleMania events in recent memory. And seriously, that whole build up, the match itself, really wasn't the best. That's why it's one of the worst Roman Reigns WrestleMania main events. Number 7, WrestleMania 34. This was against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar had his reign of terror where he barely showed up on TV. This is when I was getting very heavily invested back into wrestling, and that terror reign with that belt was just bad. And we just knew at some point Reigns was going to win and defeat Brock Lesnar, and everyone was like, let's just get over it. Let's just get to WrestleMania 34, have him win the belt, and have the title on TV consistently. And this buildup was that Reigns was constantly trying to go up against Lesnar, but always coming up short, never winning the big one. And as much as everybody wanted Reigns to win just to get over at this point, the shocker here was that Lesnar retained. And really just the match itself, it was just a finisher fest. F5s from Lesnar, spears from Roman, Superman punches. That's just what it was. It was a very short match for being a main event of WrestleMania. Just did not live up to expectations. Let me tell you, the fans were not happy about it. The boos were raining, no pun intended, on this match. It was so bad, there was WWE footage from backstage, Brock Lesnar running back into gorilla position and throwing the belt to Vince McMahon because he was just so upset with how the match turned out. And honestly, I was the same way. It could have been a really good match, another rematch between Lesnar and Reigns. It just was a finisher, quick fest here, just did not live up to expectations. Number 6, WrestleMania 33. This was against The Undertaker, and if this was 10 years prior, this would have been a barn burner of a match. And look, me, I love Undertaker. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, but this was at the point where Undertaker was well past his prime. This was supposed to be the moment where Undertaker kind of passed the torch to Reigns and have Reigns be known as the big dog. This is his yard and all that hullabaloo. But really from early on, The Undertaker just looked winded and just dead. No, again, no pun intended here on this match. It was just kind of brutal to watch. And really to be the main event of this WrestleMania was a other bunch of good quality matches on here looking back on it. Just fans just overall were not invested into this at all. And like I said, this could have been a lot better if this was even a few years prior. It's just well past his prime with Undertaker. Again, no disrespect to him here, but this match just was a little bit of a snooze fest. And the one thing you would have thought was, well, maybe this would have been Undertaker's last match in WWE. Well, that was not the case. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. This could have been a defining moment for Reigns to be put over by The Undertaker, but ended up just being a flop because of the quality of this match. Number 5, WrestleMania 38. Now, this was the third main event against Brock Lesnar in a winner-take-all match where Reigns was the Universal Champion and Brock Lesnar just won his WWE Championship, and this was a unification winner-take-all match. Now, obviously, the third main event between these two, the two of the bigger championships in wrestling and two of the biggest stars in professional wrestling, this was built up to be the end-all, be-all between these two. And honestly, looking back, the match actually wasn't that bad, but it just kind of lacked any storyline build and emotion to it. And again, maybe that would have been the case because it was Lesnar and Reigns, and we've seen these guys battle so many times before, but to kind of build up more into this big entire match between two stars and two big world titles, it just missed something here. Now, if this was on a match on any other card, on any other show, hell, if this was even in the beginning of WrestleMania, it would have been a lot better, but to main event WrestleMania 38 as your big show, your big match, it kind of lacks some emotion here. Still, it was iconic because this is when Reigns won both titles. This is when he started the Tribal Chief era, an historic run. But again, still was not bad of a match. It just lacks some emotion as far as wrestling wise. You kind of want that in a match. Are you looking to upgrade your jewelry game? Add some accessories to your outfits? Well, I got you covered. Arichi London is a men's jewelry company based out of London. Let me tell you guys about the product. Products are either silver or gold plated with 18K gold or premium 316L stainless steel. And the finishes for the jewelry are created with anodizing and dipping multiple times to thickly seal and plate the jewelry for maximum and unbeatable durability. You know what that means? It means the product will never rust, tarnish, or turn your skin green. You know what the best part is? All the products are completely waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof, and they'll never fade, tarnish, or even rust. And the products are waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof. And that means they'll never fade or tarnish. Another good thing, the products are 100% hyperallergenic, and you can wear any pieces 24/7. You don't have to worry about your skin developing a rash because the product does not contain nickel. And this is good for me actually because I have really, really sensitive skin. I have a couple of nice chains to them, a nice pendant here, the compass, and I got some bracelets here, a gold and silver one. The bracelets and the quality of the jewelry overall is really, really good. And it's a really good price. And you can get even better price if you use my code FONZ, FONZ, for 25% off your order. And also you get some free shipping on top of that. What more can you ask for? I'm telling you guys, it's some good quality jewelry. I'm really into accessories. I'm into some jewelry. So you guys, if you want to check out Arichi London, go to arichilondon.com. Get yourself some high quality either chains, pendants, bracelets, or rings right now. And use code FONZ, FONZ, for 25% off your order. Go do that right now. Number 4, WrestleMania 39. Now, this is where we thought Cody Rhodes was going to finish the story. He came back to WWE after years away. A shocking announcement when he came back. Won that year's Royal Rumble and challenged Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship. Now, I'll say this. This was an excellent match. This was the prime part of Roman Reigns' Tribal Chief run. He put an excellent showing, and Reigns had a good underdog story heading in. Now, there's a lot of emotional parts with this match. The guys held their own on both from start to finish. The only thing I hated about it was the finish. The interference from Solo Sikoa at the end of the match really ruined this. It would have been a lot higher in my personal opinion, but still, it was a very good match. Just take away that wonky last couple of minutes into the match. But still, I think this was the catalyst on showing what WWE main eventers should be all about between Rhodes and Reigns. This was still a very, very good match too. And again, it was a great emotional feel from start to finish, but it led us to what was to become a year later. And again, we'll get to that. Number 3, WrestleMania 31. Now, this was the beginning of the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns feud when Reigns was the fresh minted babyface and Brock Lesnar was still in his reign of terror. Now, Brock was built as this unstoppable force, one of the top wrestlers in WWE, and Reigns was going up against him for this title. And early on, these two had some great chemistry in the match, and really, it was really interesting to see what was going to happen. This was actually an excellent match, and personally, one of my favorites and one of the best between these two in WrestleMania history. A really hard-hitting match where Lesnar at some points was having no cells between Reigns' finisher because, again, he was built as this tough, stiff guy that really would not go down. It was a perfect battle between both heavyweights, and I really think that Reigns was about to win this. But as we know, the shock of the century happened. The WrestleMania heist where Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, ended up making it a triple threat match. Now, if we took away the Seth Rollins moment where he cashed in and ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship, between Lesnar and Reigns, this was actually a really, really good match between the two. And like I said, it was the best of the three. Now, imagine things probably would have been a lot different, and Reigns ended up winning that against Lesnar the first time around. Maybe would have never gotten two more other mid-level main eventers between these two. Number 2, WrestleMania 37. Now, this was the first WrestleMania after the Thunderdome pandemic era in wrestling. A weird time in wrestling. They had to come out with the bang when their first WrestleMania with a live attending audience. And Reigns ended up defending his title against Edge and Daniel Bryan. As we know, Edge came back into WWE and a year later ended up winning the Royal Rumble and challenged Reigns for the title. And on top of that, Daniel Bryan had some unfinished business with Reigns, thus making it a triple threat match. Let me tell you, all three of these men absolutely delivered, and this is a great match that I still watch today. You can tell Edge and Bryan were doing whatever they can to win this match to take down the tribal chief in Reigns. And let me tell you, sometimes with triple threat matches, you're kind of lacking some moments here, but let me tell you, there was non-stop action from bell to bell here. You had a lot of different mixtures here with the technical aspect of Daniel Bryan, the brawling style of Roman Reigns, and Edge himself, the legend, always putting on a great show. I will tell you, this was an excellent match that even holds up today. I highly recommend you watching it if you haven't already. And with Reigns winning here, it definitely solidified himself as one of the top guys in WWE if you didn't really believe that already. Again, it was an excellent match and definitely pushed Reigns in the right direction. And it showed that it would take a lot for Reigns to drop his belt. And number 1, WrestleMania 40, Night 2. I mean, you knew this was going to be number 1 on the list. When I was making this list earlier in the day, I knew that this one was going to be easily number 1. As you know, this was against Cody Rhodes for the WWE Universal Championship and a Bloodline Rules match because this stipulation was added when I mentioned previously the honorable mention of the tag match where Rhodes lost and it had to be Bloodline Rules match. And again, it might be recency bias, but on top of this main event, I think this is one of the better WrestleManias of all time. Now, keep in mind, this was a 2-year storyline, 2 years of Cody Rhodes finishing the story, making the comeback, and of course, the unstoppable force of Roman Reigns for having the belts for over 1,300 days. They basically took their match from last year and built upon it to an even better, and let me tell you, it was an excellent match. And the Bloodline Rules, we kind of figured what it was going to be. It was basically anything goes. You saw Jimmy Uso make an appearance, Jey Uso came out after, then Solo, then John Cena, then The Rock, and The Undertaker for some reason, and also Seth Rollins with his Shield gear. But what I liked about that match overall is that, yes, they made some great cameos here, but they didn't overtake the match. It was seriously a tale of two matches, one with great entertainment aspect and one as far as wrestling itself. It took a lot of crossroads and a lot of moves from Cody Rhodes to take down Roman Reigns, and despite Reigns losing here, this was one of his better and best WrestleMania matches, in my opinion. I mean, seriously, I think it was one of the best matches in Roman Reigns' career. Seriously, if you haven't already, watch the build up to this match. Watch last year's one on 39, then watch the 41. It was an excellent storytelling masterpiece. And while Reigns ended up dropping the belt and he's not going to be champion here for the foreseeable future, who knows when, you cannot deny that Reigns had a huge impact in those 1,000+ days as champion. Really incredible stuff. And that is my Fonz's rankings of every single Roman Reigns' WrestleMania main event from worst to first. Do you agree with this list? Which match should I put higher? Which one should have went lower? Again, comment down below and let me know. If you haven't already, definitely check out my other Fonz's ranking videos. I did ones on Jason Kelce starting quarterbacks throughout his NFL career and the receivers drafted before Amon-Ra St. Brown in the looking back in the sports world section. I also did the rankings of Josh Johnson's NFL career stops from worst to first. You can definitely check that out. The link for all of them are down below. Definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, tell a friend, tell a couple friends if you haven't already. As I said, this channel is more of my grab bag. You never know what you're going to get, but you're going to get a video at least here once a week that's non-podcast related. Speaking of the podcast, you check out the Slickback Kickback Report wherever you get your podcasts. If you like video versions, it's on this channel as well once a week. But if you like audio versions, you get them wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google. We're even on Pandora now. I think people still use Pandora. I use it once in a while. Check out my Jersey channel, Fonz Talk Jersey, a side channel with this one talking all things jerseys throughout the world of sports. You can follow my TikTok, Instagram, X at Fonz Falco. The links are down below for everything. Definitely support your boy. Get yourself some Grateful Power merch. Get some Mauricio London jewelry. Check it out. Again, the links are everywhere down below so you don't miss out. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Have a good day, good night, good evening, wherever you're watching said video. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.